everyone, welcome to
Okay.
another awesome day of FileMaker training. I am here with myself and Todd. As soon as I figure out how to bring Todd over. Oh, there's Todd. Let's see, am I going to bring him up, make him a little bit
Am I
bigger there?
here?
You are there. We see
Are we
you.
sure?
I think you are here. Holy we've lost our minds. All right,
It's
well, we're going to
Friday.
anyway, today's the last day of Todd. So who are we and why do we give a So this is fmtraining.tv. If you go to fmtraining.tv website, you can see the information here. You scroll down. This is real data coming out of FileMaker. We eat our own dog food. Todd's here. I am here. Margaret's on the way in. Reinforcements have been dispatched, but until then, Richard is running wild at the controls. So Todd's going to be talking today about, well, let me finish on the front end of this. So this is FM Trainer TV. If you want to support the channel, I haven't talked about this too much, but we've been bringing great content. You're going to want to go to Todd, purchase one of Todd's products, get automatic, do something like that. If you want to support the channel here, purchase one of the training subscriptions. It gets you access to everything. The more you spend, the more I will love you. If you send tech support questions to RC Consulting, which we take, the people who are actually on an active subscription, the system magically filters your name and your email to the top of the list for priority handling. Shocking. So if you help us out, we help you out. It's a mutual assured helping. So with that in mind, mutual assured destruction, right? So that the mutual assured helping. So that's fmtrain.tv. With that in mind, I'm going to transfer command to Todd. I'm going to quit sharing my screen. So Todd, you're welcome to come back. But today is today,
I'm coming back.
And you've got a long day. We'll take as much time as you want. But what are we doing today?
So today we're gonna just pull it all together and show what proof chat looks like, and then we're gonna have a lot of time for Q&A. So I promised we'd do some Q&A at the end.
Okay, back up. So let's do this before we get into this. So proof chat. So I'm gonna put the pressure on Todd, everyone, but you're all gonna ask this question. He's gonna show proof chat, and it's either gonna be a product that is made available somehow to the public, or for free somehow, or we're going to buy it. And the question is it available yet? Because I'm sure it's going to be amazing, and I want it. And how come I can't have it right now? I want it right now. Right now.
Proof chat is going to be available in some form. Likely there will be, I'm pretty sure we're going to have a free version, which you can use internally on your own projects at the very least. And then there will be pro versions or additional licenses for other types of engagements. And we're gonna, so we've done things both ways. We've given things away entirely for free, like auto FMS and auto deploy.
Which is huge. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we like to do that when we can, and also some products are just better free than they really are as a paid product. For various reasons, which I could bore you all with, but I won't. In this case, we're going to have to recoup something, more than likely. It's going to take a lot of effort for us to build and maintain something that our goal is that this will be an add-on that you can drop into a FileMaker file and go through some configuration, edit a few scripts, and you've got AI-powered chat. Enter some API keys, that kind of thing, and you've got AI-powered chat. That's our goal. So our goal is pretty high in that our bar is pretty high in that we want the developers to be able to focus on building tools to more tightly integrate the chat with their specific applications and not have to figure out how to prompt up a chat agent and prompt up or vibe code up a chat UI or do whatever. We want you to be able to skip all of that, so you can get right to the part that is the most value to you and to your customers, which is building the tools that integrate those two things.
Can I nominate you to be a product manager at Claris?
Sure, you can nominate me.
I need someone to second this.
If nominated, what was the famous line? I will not. Oh, and if elected, I will not serve. Is that if nominated, I will not accept, and if elected, I will not serve. That's
because Claris product management needs to understand that the AI stuff is great, but one thing we learned this week is that getting the AI, like going from zero to getting it functional, there's a lot. You said prompting up, which is kind of the
Yeah,
slang for
prompting
that.
up, figuring out how to put the guardrails on it, figuring
Hmm.
out how to get, which models to use and that kind of for your different
There's a
cases.
lot to that. There's a
There's a
lot to
lot.
that.
It's just there's
Yeah.
stuff you got to learn. And there's also like if you want a really nice chat UI, like we're going to see, that's a lot. Like you're going to have to go and learn web tech really. And making that work really well with the FileMaker script steps is a lot. And you're going to have to do all of that before you provide value one to your customer, right? And so that's really our goal is to be able to get you to, within half a day, have an AI chat system in your FileMaker system. That's the bar we're setting for ourselves internally to be able to make that happen. And part of that, frankly, is because we want to enable our own services teams. I
Yeah.
don't think many people know this, but besides Automatic, our hosting platform and FM Perception and Auto FMS and all that, we have a bunch of services teams that do custom development all over the FileMaker world. So we want to enable those teams to be able to same thing, drop FileMaker chat, drop a chat agent into their app and get to building the things that our customers actually pay us for. Another way to
Yeah.
think about it is the chat UI is sort of undifferentiated heavy lifting. It's hard to do, and everybody knows what it looks like. Everybody knows what experience they want to have, and it's not different. So how can we get you to the place where you can start creating the differences, the things that actually make your business system, the system you're building for yourselves or for your customers, different?
Yep.
That's the goal. And
Yep.
it's a pretty high bar to do that and to be able to support it and do all that stuff. So we're there will be some sort of paid version. I really don't know what that will be yet, but we're definitely going to have something that will be useful that you can use, that you can license either as a for your internal use, or if one of your customers wants it, they can go and license it from us and include it for free. We'll have something. It may have less bells and whistles, but it will be.
Well,
You're going to
think of.
see approximately what it will be today.
I would
Approximately.
love to. I would love to park it in Starting Point and have that be fundamentally part of Starting Point at a free tier. With we remember we did that with the barcode thing at one point, right? The
Yeah,
barcode.
yeah, yeah.
But this one, I think back in the day when Go first came, the AI is so similar to Go in a lot of ways. So FileMaker Go and the mobile apps came out, and it was years before the businesses knew what to do with it. Really, they knew it was cool, but they didn't know what to do with it, and so they didn't do anything with it. And now these days, half or 50, 60% of our projects have huge mobile components to it, right? iPhone, iPad is a standard thing. AI is going to be like that. It looks amazing. Businesses are trying to figure out how to take advantage of it, and eventually it'll take off. And I want to make sure that as people download a CRM or download Starting Point, they can get some of this going with them, and that would be good. So yeah.
You just reminded me. Do you remember GoDraw, the first
Oh yeah,
version?
yeah. And
That
I
was
missed
your
that.
idea. You came to me and said, "Can you make this thing?"
I missed that. I
Yeah.
missed that because you guys discontinued that,
We did
right?
because it didn't sell that well. It was one of those things that
No.
like we couldn't sell enough to make it because turns out there's just not that many people who need drawing, you
Yeah,
know.
and the problem is that was an essential tool that we needed. I don't know if there's I think there's probably some
There
free ones out there
there
now,
there
but
there are some things that you can replace it with, but we just felt that it wasn't worth. We can discontinue that 4 years ago now or something like that. So it's been a
yeah.
while.
Yeah, no, but that was another essential, and that's part of, what we need with the platform is we need some of these things. It's like Monkey Bread is so great and you're so great. We're solving these individual problems, but we have to make sure that for all of you out there who are watching this free training, we're about to get into this momentarily, spend a couple bucks, spend some bucks with Todd, spend some bucks with FM Trainer TV, because that's how we justify coming back and doing more stuff. So for those of you wondering, so proofgeist.com, whatever, when this AI chat thing comes out,
We got
uh,
FM perception, FM perception, FM comparison, and then of course Automatic, our hosting platform.
auto,
Lots of
yeah,
good
that
stuff you
stuff,
can get there.
that's really amazing. Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
cool. So, all right, moving forward, share your screen. Let's go.
Okay. So this is a stand-in for your FileMaker system. And I think we've looked at this already. So, but just for people who missed an episode earlier this week, it's your basic, lowest common denominator CRM. customers, contacts, invoices, products. Not really a lot to it. Just your basic things, right? There's very, very little in here in terms of the database. This is pretty much it. That's all there is to it. Just those few tables connected up, one table occurrence really. I do have some summary tables, which are pre-compute. So whenever an invoice comes in, it updates sales by month and sales by month category and sales by customer month. And the reason this is actually important when you're thinking about doing AI and you're thinking about using SQL queries, I think we talked about this a bit, but it's helpful to do these summary tables because your AIs will have to work less hard to get summary values. You don't want to use SQL to like summarize a bunch of data. It's going to be slow. So you build
When you
summary tables. This is something
when
we've
you
been doing
say
for 100
when you say
years.
summary table, we're talking about cache data that's already
Basically, yes,
pre-cached.
right.
Yeah.
Yes. So
So
like so if you look at the sales by month, it's
yeah,
got total sales and a period, a month and year together.
yeah.
That's it. That's all that's in it, right? So
So
every time an invoice comes in, it just updates that for the particular month.
so when Todd says summary table, he means a table with cache data that was previously summarized with a script probably or something,
Or
and it or
or some report that
yeah,
had a summarize calc function on it, a
yeah,
summary function, and then you had to either use a get break, whatever that function is
yeah,
for getting the summaries by a particular
yeah,
month or whatever. Very complicated and also could be quite slow depending on
yeah,
your system. So just a very, I mean, we've been doing summary tables since as long as I've been doing FileMaker, like
yeah, 30,
forever.
35 years, yeah.
It's a good technique when you want reporting or you want things that you want summarized data really, really, really fast. You just compute it whenever the data changes. You just get it, keep them updated. We could talk a whole thing on that. But anyway, that's in here because that's useful for the AI story. That's really it. So now let's get into the chat. So we click on the chat button up here and we have a full chat system here. Okay. So if I go in and I just, this is what I was having fun with. We did the
Wait. Before you start doing stuff, are these previous conversations that you've had over there? Is
yeah,
that what
yeah.
that is?
Those are threads, just like you'd see in like ChatGPT or
Okay.
Claude, right? Right. So let's do this was a big hit earlier in the week. Tell me a story about a FileMaker
Nah.
developer named Richard,
Mm.
who is
Uh-oh.
known for his loud,
Mm.
I won't even be able to spell boisterous, but that doesn't matter. Boisterous,
Booster.
boisterous laugh.
Mm.
And he flies helicopters. Hella helicopters.
There you go. Great.
Okay, so we're gonna hit this. And before, we were in that AI file, we had it just populating into the field, and then we showed a little web viewer thing. But so this, by the way, I should show. Let me copy this out. Let me start over here. This is just a web viewer on the layout.
Okay.
Everything we're seeing inside on the screen is a web app that's been built and then is shoved into the database into a field, and then we use a data URL inside the web viewer to display that UI. This works really well. It's pretty much how we build most of our UIs. At least if I'm building in FileMaker, I'm building UIs with a web viewer. That's how I like to do it. So let's go ahead and ask the question and let's see the behavior. So we get this nice streaming thing coming in, really sweet. Yada, yada. Gives me the whole thing. Back at the office, we sip coffee and blazing with a little helicopter. And the phrase, will code for flight hours. For Richard, FileMaker development and flying weren't so different. Both required focus, creativity, and the confidence to try new things. Plus, it never hurt to be able to laugh at yourself when things went sideways.
That's all true.
And
Shocking.
so, whenever database chaos needs order or a gray day needed a burst of joy, Richard and his unmistakable laugh were never far away, either
Wow.
debugging a script or soaring, laughing above the clouds.
All right.
So what you notice there, I mean, this is a nice looking UI. Like
Yeah.
this matches pretty close to what you'd see if you had ChatGPT up, right?
Mhm.
You're going to get that same kind of thing. You can switch back and forth between these different threads. You can do a new thread, right? And you can keep the conversation going, whatever, right? We've also got some other nice things. We can do light mode, dark mode, right? So we can get a nice light, dark mode thing for those of you who like dark mode. We can even do themes. We can choose we're doing like a purple. Let's do a yellow. Now you can see the yellow color. Everything changes to yellow. Right? Orange. We can do green. We can switch back to. We can use systems so that your computer will pick up whatever your computer's set to.
Okay.
So this is all because we have a nice modern web design surface to use. We can do all this stuff, right?
Okay.
Um, so we also got some other nice things like let's see. Let me stop my share. Start again with I need advanced, I need portion of screen, and I need share sound. Right?
Yep.
So
Did you hit? You told us
Your
share
profile
sound.
indicates you are Todd Geist, the CTO at Proof Plus Geist. Example sentence. Todd Geist is
whoop,
the CTO at Proof Plus. Your profile indicates you are Todd Geist,
you hear
the
that?
CTO at
Yeah.
Proof
Yeah.
Plus
Yeah. Yeah.
Geist. Example sentence.
I think it's got a bug. I think it was, let me select this other one and try this.
Your profile indicates.
Yeah, we got a bug. So it's not recognizing which story is
Which?
being talked. So I got to mark
Yeah.
that for a bug to
Yeah.
fix. This is why it's not ready yet. These kinds of things. You can copy and paste this. You can edit and start over and do a different. You can do a different prompt. The kind of standard things you want in a chat. However, we've got some other things. So here we've got AI accounts.
Oh,
So we can set up
oh,
different accounts that we wanted.
go and share.
Oh, I
again.
got to share my screen. Oh, was I not sharing?
Yep.
Settings.
Settings. Okay.
And now
Yep.
we got so we can configure different providers to
Okay.
use with our system, right? This is just
Mhm.
you fill out the form, put in your API key, blah blah. We can assign models to different parts of the chat. So in this case, the main chat. In this case, we're using GPT 4.1 from OpenAI in both cases, but I could change this. I could use a different one for tools. I could put in 4.1 mini here,
Mm.
that kind of thing. So we can change all that. Really nice UI. And then when things get interesting, we go to tools. And now this is like yesterday we talked about how to create tools. And if you remember yesterday, we had this big pain in the butt kind of.
Because we couldn't really call scripts, right?
Well, you could call
Directly.
scripts. You were away for that part, I think. But
Yeah. Yeah.
we could call scripts, but we had to write this thing to do it. Like this
Mhm.
JSON parameter, right? This big thing. It's kind of like, what is all
Yeah.
that mess,
Yeah. We
right?
had a workaround for it. So yeah. Yeah.
So we could paste it, we could edit this, and there's a schema formatter we could use to set it up. But really, this is kind of a pain to write. So what I really wanted was, if you're a FileMaker dev, what you want to be able to do is come in and say, like, here's your create contact, tool name, create contact, describe it, then you give it a script name you want to be your tool,
Okay.
and then you can either enable or disable it. And then for your parameters, you have a nice UI here that you can add a parameter. You can put in the name of the parameter, the string, the description, whether it's required or not, whether you want a bunch of options.
This is the we need.
Exactly,
This
because
is the
otherwise, you're crafting this by hand.
yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So
Oh
again, we don't want you to get stopped by, oh, did I get the freaking format wrong? Like,
no. No.
no,
Yeah. No,
we don't
go
want
back,
that.
go back, go back. No. You're no. Now I'm all excited. No. Yeah. Okay. Now
Okay.
finish it. So we do this. Stop. Now hit cancel or update or whatever. I don't give a. So if we want to have the AI be able to do this generically, like create a contact, we create this in here.
We create a script. We create a script
Yeah.
called
So we could have run reports, like do financial reports. We could do
Yep.
all sorts of, hey, Claris, we need this.
See this guy right here? So that's my script, tool create contact. I wrote a script that handles creating contacts. And then I came in here and I told the chat how to call that script.
Okay,
So-
so it takes a little work, but this makes sense because we're telling the AI where to go to do this thing.
Yep. we're saying, remember, I've been talking all week that tools are the thing that helps you bring some sanity to the creative chaos that the models can cook up, right? So by just getting the models to call a tool, you're basically simplifying the task for them. Then they can just call the tool and they can provide back your your deterministic script result, because it's a script. You know how to
Yeah.
write a script, right? So if we look at the create contact one, that script, just to set the stage here, at the top of it, we get the arguments. Then we're parsing out the names, the values from those arguments. New window. Oh, let me use my new trick here. All right, blow this up.
Yeah. We could read that.
So we got our arguments. The AI figures out what the arguments are and sends it to the script. Then we parse out those arguments. And this is just FileMaker here. We're just in FileMaker land. I want to pop up a new window. I want to use a transaction just so I can revert. I'm not really doing like multiple record edits or things like that where I might want a transaction for that reason. What I want to do here is if the user picks cancel, I want to just undo what I did, right?
Sure.
So this is just, I just open up a new window, I create a new record, populate those values, and then I just wait for the user to click pause or cancel on the FileMaker card window. They click cancel, we revert. They click OK, we commit the transaction.
Can you run this real quick?
Sure,
Just stop, because you're getting in the weeds. But you're trying to tell me how I built a brand new BMW car, but I want to drive it before I see how you put the engine under the hood. So can you drive my car for me briefly?
Sure.
I'm being demanding, but I'm sensing awesomeness is about to occur.
So I don't know if you guys all saw this. Some of you have seen this demo before, but I really dig it, and I think it makes the point for a lot of reasons. So I've got here a business card.
Yeah.
Drop that in, create contact from this, from the data in this image. There it is. Ran my script. Now I can cancel or confirm.
Okay. Now
confirm, and it creates a contact in the database. If I want to view that contact, I can view the contact.
Okay, that's awesome. Now, what other variations can you see the use case? I mean, we put an image in there, but
you can do whatever. I could also just say,
yeah, do it.
Create a contact for Richard.
Yeah. What if you paste it into some text from an email or something?
Sure, yeah, anything, right? Email is rick@rcc.com.
Or something, whatever, that's fine. Yeah, there we go. Rick.
All right, it's going to be able to do that too.
Yeah, okay, just do it. Okay.
It's working. There it goes.
Okay, stop. Now, Todd, I want you to be quiet. Go get a drink. Take a break. I need an official upvote or downvote. Does anyone think this should be fundamentally part of the Claris FileMaker platform? I mean, Todd's here, but this is the we need. At least I think so in my limited. So I need upvotes. 1 upvote, 2 upvotes, 3 upvotes, 4 upvotes, 5 upvotes. People are lighting up Discord like a freaking casino, a hotel. Stu is there. Hey, Russ is there. Yeah, we need this because it's really cool, and it doesn't take a PhD. Todd, don't say anything. They're voting. You can't affect the voting. We want this, and we want it right now. Sorry, let me just help you with that. Okay.
So
right,
what this interaction? I love this demo because it points out a couple of different things that happen when you start to pull all these things together. I didn't have to write a scan business card, create contact script. The chat knows how to scan a business card by itself.
Right. You gave it a general noun and a general verb, and it knows enough that creating a contact, anything that has to do with creating a person, goes to that script.
That's right.
That's badass.
And then it did human in the loop before it actually just wrote the data to the database. It popped up a little dialogue where you could confirm or edit that data.
Yeah,
and
you know why?
Because you could imagine a whole bunch of things where you might search your database first and say, oh, Richard's already in here. Do you want to update his contact record and show that?
Oh, sure.
Right.
Oh, sure.
Right. So So
This
all
is
of those kind
huge.
of things are there. And again, that looked like it was all part of this chat, but actually that card window was just a card window. You guys all know how to make card windows. You all know how to do it. So you were able to get tight integration with the chat, proof chat, and a UI that you build, which is that card window that can be look any way that you want, can contain anything that you want within a card window paradigm, right?
Yeah.
And then at the end, it just saves a record to the database.
Okay, Todd, I need you to pause again. Just pause for a
Okay.
second. Okay. So this is for Barbara. Barbara posted something that says, no, they gave us the tools to create it. So here is the thing. Can I help everyone with this real quick? Todd, I'm going to make you very small. You're going to be out of the way over here. Just have a drink for a second. I got to draw on the screen here. So it requires skills that are up in this area here. Okay. And yes, there are 5 to 10% of the people that are building stuff in the FileMaker community are in this super triple ninja area right here, right? And then there's a whole bunch of people. I live kind of in this area here. There's a bunch of people, a lot of people in reading about it, knowing about it here and here. They don't want to do the prompt engineering that we just saw over the last week. Having a initial jump to get us forward is a huge deal. It's what we need. I mean, because here's the thing. Let me just be clear about this, okay? So what does FileMaker bring to the plate? They bring a cohesive environment. They bring simplification to help bring some of the new and intermediate people along while still supporting the professional developers. That's what this platform does. The point with Barbara is that, yeah, we want the professional code, we want the professional abilities, but I, Richard Carlton, train these people here, the beginning developers, intermediate. This constitutes a majority of the revenue coming to Claris, okay? Now, we are super important. Without the professional developers community, Claris is screwed. They're out of business. They're done, okay? So we need both groups. I am looking out after really the intermediate developers here, the people who have done this for 4 or 5 years or 10 years, and they got to a point and they're kind of good. Maybe haven't done it in a while. We need AI for these people here is what we need, okay? This product and what Todd's talking about, however it manifests itself, because, I mean, if, in my limited opinion, this should be built into the damn FileMaker product. But they should. I mean, whether whatever Todd builds it or someone builds it, but this needs to be in the core product to simplify the AI integration for the developer. All they have to do is come up with, we need these kinds of reports, create a new work order for this helicopter, finalize this, this kind of stuff. This is huge. This is huge. And so simplifying it is what we need, but it doesn't mean you have to use it. If you want to get all nasty down in the code, definitely do the deep end of the prompt engineering, right? It was that whole conversation about the pigs going into the sausage factory. It's a lot of hard work. So cool. So I just had a minor tantrum, but to help frame it for everyone so they understand this, right? That's what Claris is. That's what they do. They have to do this. If all they do is do this, then we don't have new people. Listen, most of the people over here are old. Todd is old as God, right? Todd is so old.
I'm very old.
I mean, look at his gray hairs. Right. So the point is that we need younger people to come into this. Younger people don't come to us as super triple certified engineers. They have to come in at the lower level. We have to make them successful. Then they get excited. They get success. The customers buy and pay them to build great solutions. And they go, wow, this is a great platform. We love Claris. And they grow to become the Todd Geist, the Richard Carltons in 10 years. Whoever those people are, they're coming. We need to encourage that. So I'm sorry, I'm just having a cheerleader moment, but it's so essential. So I'm going to shut up now, Todd. You can resume your shenanigans here.
I don't know, man. That's a pretty good rant. The things just to sort of reconnect those dots, what we did here in settings is we gave you a nice, easy UI to add a tool, fill out a form, point it at a script, and now you've got integration into an AI chat, which we think is pretty cool. And that's the kind of win we hope to enable, is that you can, your first day of proof chat, you can have AI in your file and have it pulling data out of your FileMaker database and doing whatever you want it to do. That's our goal. And so I think we're getting close. There's still things we got to fix and things we got to figure out, blah, 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 but we will get there. Eventually we will get there. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks. So let's see here. So just looking at, so let's look at this. So there's a query database. This is a big monster beast. So in this case, we're gonna the tool name is called query database. The script just tool query database. The parameters is user question and display format. Kind of give it a hint as to what we want back. Do we want a table or a chart? And then and so that's in here, all set up and ready to go. And then let's take a look at that script because it's kind of well, you know what? Let's run it first. So we'll just pick one of these. Let's just do this one. So we'll get sales by month for the year 2025. And what's going to happen here is we notice we got something. We did not get any results there. Did I change the model? The year 2025.
You did. You went to mini. Did you switch to mini by accident?
I might have. I did. Thank you.
Yeah.
I did do that. And
because we were screwing around with the settings.
Yep. Settings. So I think we need, for this tool, we need to go back to GPT 4.1 for that. Update assignment. Let's go back to our chat. We'll just delete this one and we'll run that again. So, I don't know what's going on here. That feels like that should work. Total sales from sales by month or period. That should really work. I don't know what's going on there. Let's try a different one and maybe we'll come back and try to figure that out later. Let's try this one.
Yeah,
there we go.
Oh,
okay.
there you go.
Yes, we got our results. That took a little longer than I expected, but we got our results. And you see, in this case, what we generated was this little sort of, we've got a 2-panel split here. So you click on that and expose the data that we got back from the database. And we can also, I'm doing this, I don't know that I'll keep this in the final product, but just to let you see the select that's being generated. So you kind of know.
Having that, Todd, as an option, like a developer,
yeah,
like
it's pretty nice. I don't know what I'll make it this prominent. Yeah. Maybe I'll put it somewhere else, but.
Well, it's a checkbox in settings and then it comes up here.
Yeah, maybe. Could be. Yeah.
Just...
So we got this nice table. And so this is a pre-built component that's part of Proof Chat. And it'll be used to, anytime you return from your tools a result that is a table structure, the chat will be smart enough to display it. And so you get this nice thing. And then did you, were you going to say something, Richard?
I'm vibrating here. So I would want the option to have it here or have it pushed back to into FileMaker to display.
Well, check this out. So we've got a little view here where we can do things and interact with it. We'll add things like sorts and drag and drop on the headers so you can move it around. You can copy this as a CSV to the clipboard. You can also export it as a CSV. Right? So you get those results out if you want to push it somewhere else. I'm also thinking that one nice thing might be an option here to send the data to a FileMaker script.
Yeah.
All right. Be kind of cool. But notice what's nice about this is let me bring the screen up. We'll go to customers to make this point. We're looking at invoices over here, but I want to drill in. So I just click on it and now I'm on invoices and notice the found set is the same. We looked at this a little bit earlier in the week, but again, this is now built into the chat system itself where because we got a row ID back and we know what table it is, the chat is intelligent enough to know how to call a script, and with using that new function, that new script step, go to list of records, GTLR. We can build all that in so that anytime you have a table that's based on a table in your FileMaker system, you can just drill back into it and maintain the found set. And not only maintain the found set, but you notice you're on the record. Like you go to the first record in the found set, you go to the last record in the found set, etc.
Oh, it straight up highlights it for you. That's sick.
Yeah. So it takes you back to the well, that's just the FileMaker portal, right? I navigate around here. But while I'm here, I can click and go right to it. So we've
So
got super tight integration back with the FileMaker database.
yeah, no, this is great. Real quick, so
And then I can ask, I can follow up. Now that I got that query, I can ask a follow-ups like, I don't know,
oh, so this is a
can you,
continued conversation now.
I can keep going and say, I don't know, what do
Oh.
you notice? What do you notice about
Mm.
those invoices?
Of course, this is where it's going to start hallucinating and telling you that
Well,
you're
but it's got a lot of good data, right? So,
okay.
I could say, do you see any patterns that might be interesting? Who
Wow.
knows? Let's see. So, right, it starts to give me a little bit of intelligence about it. So, high values, all invoices are extremely high, right? So the data set is just skewed with really high invoices. That's
Sure.
doesn't matter here, but who knows? Maybe if you get a data set back and you ask questions, it might find something that is very useful to your business. All data were created in a very short amount of time, which yes, in this case, because I imported everything on the same day, right? But
Yeah.
either paid or sent, tax is weird. Like this is all stuff that could actually be interesting to you,
Sure.
right?
No, absolutely. So this is to what I would have to if I was going to educate someone on this, I would not for you, Todd, but I would say I said this is like you're asking a random mid-level employee to do an analysis and come back with what they think might be interesting. So as a manager or boss or decision maker, you're going to want to flip through all these ideas or suggestions and find the couple nuggets that are actionable that you want to take action on, right? Because some of it's going to be useful, some of it's not. But now you have kind of a filtered list of things, you should think about, right?
Yep.
Things you should think about in terms of your
Yeah.
business.
So chat can do, especially if you use a good model. And this, like when you start asking questions like this, you might actually want to use one of the reasoning models, the really high end ones that can think a lot. And they can come up with new queries you should try or new things to look at, and you could try those. So we're now combining the intelligence of the models directly with the data in FileMaker. And this tool for database query is one that we're going to ship with ProofKit, right? So you should be able to fairly simply integrate the database tool query with your database and start to get not only these simple little nice little charts of things or tables of things, but you could get insights from them.
We need to bolt this on to a starting point with 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 of the basic requests, and out of the box you'd have a CRM that people could use that would have some level of AI integration, which would
Some
be
level of a little bit of
huge.
business intelligence, right? And then
Yeah,
you
yeah,
keep
yeah.
tweaking it to come up with better things as you add more rules. And so let's take a look at so when I talk about what it will take to integrate this into your system, what probably the first version will be some copy and paste, but eventually it's going to be an add-on. You install the add-on into your solution, and then you're going to come to settings. You're going to enter your API keys for the providers you want to use, right?
We're gonna
It'll come with tools already set up, but
mhm.
you can then add your own tools.
Yeah.
And then there'll be some integration that's probably best done in scripts. So I want to look at that just briefly to give you to sort of expose why that is and why that's a nice way to do things sometimes. And then once you do that, you're kind of done. So we tell you, hey, you're going to want to integrate the tool query database, the query database tool. And so actually, no, actually, we've got it split out. So I've already started like making this. So there's a configuration folder. You go in, you're going to configure the DDL. So what tables do you want the chat to know about? I mean, I could do that as a UI in the web interface, and maybe we will. But frankly, this is a pretty good way because what I'm going to use here is the perform SQL query by natural language, except the action is just get DDL. And if I go in here and pick from a list, and I pick this, I can just pick these guys. And now if you happen to change invoices to invoice, you get rid of the S, it's still going to work because I'm tied directly to the schema in FileMaker. If I give you UI where you put the word invoices in, yes, I could generate the DDL, but if you happen to change the table name for invoices, that connection is going to break, right? So this is actually a nice way to configure a DDL in a system, is just use this script step, have the user come in, flag the ones they want, right? And then that can't break. That's like the difference between using like get layout by name or just get layout without the name thing, right? That kind of thing. So this
Okay.
will self-heal even if you change the name of tables.
Yeah. Okay. So we have two questions that are kind of attached to each other. And so I'm going to ask the first one from Stefan Lapierre. What is the flow that Proof Chat is using the right tool from a prompt? So you had
So that's what the AIs are good at, right? So the AIs, if you pick a model that can do tool calling, not all can. Currently, only OpenAI is supported. That's just the limitation of FileMaker, the FileMaker script steps today. Tool calling is only supported with OpenAI. Hopefully that'll be something we can rectify soon enough, but that's where it is right now. If you choose OpenAI GPT 4.1 or 4.1 mini, it should be able to choose the right tools based on what the person puts in here, right? Based on what they put in.
Okay, so hold on. Follow-on question from Stu.
Yeah.
Would it be possible to have a model auto-escalate if, for example, if OpenAI Mini decides it's too hard and automatically escalate it to a more advanced model?
You could, yeah, you could.
Well, for the record, that would be something that would be best built on your end.
Yeah,
Because
well, I mean, so escalation, I don't know if you need escalation for the tool calling itself, but you can certainly go in and like if a model doesn't respond with something that you think is good enough, you can prompt it again and call it again or call a different model. And you can do that in various places. The chat model is going to be pretty tightly wired up. You're going to be able to choose a couple of different providers and a couple of different models that work well. But this agentic flow and the agentic loop that we built for the chat,
yes,
you're not going to be able just to pick anything because some things probably just won't work very well.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but that's okay. You know, our commitment is that we'll make it work with at least some of the open models as soon as Claris supports the open models for tool calling.
So Russ asked a question here. So FileMaker, Claris's FileMaker AI service.
Separate question, but go ahead.
Using a model can't use tools? Question mark.
So the problem is not the AI server necessarily, it's the generate script step. So if we look at the chat agent here, where'd it go? Where's my generate? This bad boy here, this guy. The tool definitions, it doesn't support them for any of the, really, this option is only supported if the provider is OpenAI. It doesn't work properly without that. So if you're using the Claris AI server, you're going to be choosing a custom provider because that's how you do that. You choose a custom provider, you put in the endpoint to your FileMaker server, and that's how it works. So custom doesn't support tool calling as of today. Doesn't do it.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so that right there is like putting a wooden stake to the heart of the Claris FileMaker server AI.
It depends. Like, so I think there's a lot of, I think we need to support, at least we need to actually, frankly, I think the one that we need to support before anything else is Google, because about half the audience probably uses Google for everything. Google already has all your data. So I don't know, like they've already got it. Like you're not sending them anything they don't already have. Right.
Yeah,
and then also remember what you're sending isn't necessarily the data. Like in the case of this guy right here, where we did this, no data went to the model.
Yeah, we just got the SQL. back, and then
The
we ran
SQL
it locally.
model, and
Yeah,
we ran the
yeah,
SQL locally.
yeah.
So like you're gonna have to think through what models you really like, what things you really can't do. And are at the point, if you're saying I can't use OpenAI for anything, and I can't use Google, and I can't use Anthropic, your choices are going to fall to other model providers that are doing the open models, or running this on your Claris AI server that's not running on your FileMaker production server, a different server. And you're going to want to do that. And the costs are going to go up. Like, again, we talked about this a few times, but if anybody has not been on the call, I'm sure Wim talked about this too. If you're going to use, say, one of the Llama models, 3.3 or 5, for chat completion, or one of the Google Gemma 7B or whatever models, you're gonna need a server that has GPUs. You cannot use a regular AWS server; it won't work. You're gonna need to use one that has GPUs. The prices for those are going to be substantially higher than you're paying for your AWS FileMaker server. The rule of thumb that I use is it's going to be in the thousands per month for a GPU powered server to run your Claris AI server on it. Depending on how big, it could be 1,000, it could be 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. Or your other option is to use a Mac. You could probably get away with the highest powered Mac Mini M4 Pro, but really you're going to want to go with the Studio M3 at the bare minimum. So you're now talking a $5,000 server for that at a bare minimum to run. That's your choices. Like, again, it's like you can't get the level of tool calling I'm talking about to run on your $200 FileMaker server. It's not going to happen. Forget it. Just like, it's not happening. Unless you're running a GPU server in-house, you can't do this unless you unless you go to a cloud and do GPU. I don't know what AWS charges for their GPU powered servers. I can tell you that the cheapest GPU off server that will rent you off of Automatic is roughly about $1,700 a month.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the problem with AI or whatever. I mean, we haven't really gone through a big shift where the software started sucking down the processors until we got to this AI thing. And then
That's right. Yeah.
It's like back in the days when we didn't have video, then we got little postage stamp video, then we had that was a big video, was a big processor, hog, and now it's kind of standard. So then everything kind of eases off. And I've been running around with M1s and M2s on my Macs. But now if I want to do AI internally, then I'm going to have to shell out some big bucks.
You're going to have to shell out for testing. What I use for testing, and this just barely runs the Claris AI server, is a 64 gigabyte M4 Max. That'll run. I can do testing on that. I wouldn't do that in production. That's on my laptop. But you can the M3s. I'm sure Wim talked about this. The M3s are pretty good. The M3 has a very fast connection between the CPU and the GPU and the neural processing unit that's on the Mac chips. So Apple has a slight advantage here. Like, your standard Windows boxes don't have this stuff, or they don't have NVIDIA GPUs on it. They may have GPUs, but they probably don't have enough of an NVIDIA GPU. So we've got a little bit of an advantage here for the time being. And I think that's going to be a pretty cool thing for the next few years. There are new things coming. Like, Google just released a pretty good model, the Google Gemma 3N, that is supposed to run on devices. Like, it's made to run on iPhones and Android phones. I think you still need NVIDIA GPUs to do it, or M1 or M4s or M3s to do it, but it should work. So we're starting to get models that are optimized for smaller hardware, but smaller hardware in this case, we're still talking about a bigger server than there's very few people on this chat that are running a FileMaker server today that will be able to handle AI loads for the foreseeable future.
Show the connection between tool definition and GRFM tools definitions. That's what Barbara just said.
GRFM. Okay, so that's easy. So here's what we have in here. And this is another thing that you have to configure. That's why we have it in our configuration folder. is navigate to record. So the chat over here, when you click on one of these guys, it's gonna run this script, and you're gonna get a table name, a record ID, the list of record IDs, and what record number they clicked on. Then this is the only part you have to change is when the table name is products, go to product view. Pretty much it. When the customer's table name is customers, go to customer view. So you would come in and you decide which view, which layout do I want to go to when the table name in the chat is customers, for example. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we'll
Thumbs
see if
up
that
for
makes
people?
sense. Yep. I'm just reading here on YouTube and a couple comments here.
So
Andrew,
then you got the layout name, and then that's right here. Go to list. We use the layout name and we use our record IDs. That's really it. So there's a light bit of configuration. I can probably move this into the settings, but again, it's one of these things where I don't know. I think the reason why I didn't is you might want to customize. You might want your navigate to record script to be pretty custom. Like, for example, depending on the record you land on, you might want to switch to a different layout. So I kind of want this navigate to record to be something that you, the FileMaker developer, can control with your FileMaker scripting skills. Like, oh, this is a customer that's in this category, and when I'm on that category, I go to this layout. It's a different layout than the standard customer, things like that. So I wanted to leave that configuration in the hands of a FileMaker developer. I guess the other thing I could do is in the settings, I could have a setting for like, what's your navigate to record script? And then you could point at that, but I don't know. That seems like not a lot of value, right? So
this is really good material. Do we have questions from people? Because now's the time for questions. I mean, this is really huge. I mean, people. So once again, let me read. What time is it? Okay,
a little after
so we're a little
2.
bit. Yeah. So let me just bring this back for those of you before you leave, and maybe you joined late. So, what is this? How? Okay. So someone says, how do I get this tool? Right? How do I get this tool?
Yeah.
And then your answer is it's in development.
It's in development. It's coming pretty soon, but we do need to ship it a couple times internally to make sure we didn't do something that's just so dumb that what I don't want is people to have a bad experience putting this into their system. So I'm going to make sure that with a good set of documents and some videos, you have a 90% chance of hitting gold the first time. And that is still probably a couple weeks away.
Okay.
And I believe that Todd agreed to be kidnapped by the Carltons again to come back on stream to talk about doing an integration with FMSP.
Yeah.
So
we'll do starting point when we're ready to do that.
That'll be great. Yeah, because we want to. And then for those of you, when we come back to this conversation, Todd, can you go back to the tool call real quick? The tool list, tools. Yeah. So these are. Okay, what we have, these are like pre-canned areas that like get weather. I mean, that was cute. And get
that's
profile.
Just that's like like Hello World.
Yeah.
In the AI like agent calling thing, get weather is the Hello World. It's the example you see for every tool.
Oh, okay.
MCP server, agent, it's always get weather.
Okay, so create contact, query the database. We'd want to, what we want to do is create a handful of tools in a CRM that would be the most broadly useful things, and then obviously you're going to customize it beyond that. But finding out who our top customers are, or I have. Okay, here's one. Once again, this came up earlier today. Say Larry the Marine emails tech support, and he does this, right? And he says, I've got this problem, and Larry the Marine, in his spare time, he builds a FileMaker solution for minor league baseball in the United States. It's crazy, right? And he has this whole thing that does this. And so he sends this question, and say that I have a new staff, and they say, I don't know who Larry the Marine is, and say I'm out, and they can't ask me who Larry is. And they say, well, what's the background of Larry Marine? What's his history with RCC? Is he a valuable customer? Something like that. Like, right.
Yeah.
What is that? And so we would build a tool that would help with that. The AI would see that we're trying to evaluate Larry to see if he's a worthy person, right? Do we want to spend a bunch of time helping him out, right?
That's right. You can ask all kinds of questions And then, if you get back a contact that you already got Larry in there, you could just say, do Larry's profile for me. Let me see what he's got. And then you just get a nice markdown document of Larry's done this many sales, he's been on all these live streams, whatever. And that could just be come from, all you would have to do is feed the data back to the chat, and the chat is going to give you, Markdown is pretty good. Like Markdown will even do tables and lists and things. So if you prompt up a tool that, and you say always return in Markdown, then it's going to do that. And you're going to get a nice formatted report on Larry the Marine or whoever you put in there. So it's pretty sweet. That's the kind of thing, that's what we're talking about. You build that, and then now your staff just goes, who's Larry? And comes back.
Yeah, who the hell's Larry, and why should I give
Larry? Oh, we got Larry the Marine. We got Larry the boat builder. We got Larry the Larry the sledgehammer. I don't know. Larry the Sharknado
When
hunter,
I say
whatever.
he's a Marine, I wasn't kidding about that. Margaret, do you have a question real quick for me on this conversation you're having in Discord?
Yes, we do. It's about the server thing. Reusing tool calling only works with OpenAI. I know Wim probably covered it, but what exactly are we getting with FM on a Prem AI server, and what are we not getting, particularly as it relates to this tools issue?
So again, with the Claris AI service that's on there, you do not get tool calling. So that's out. You can get chat completion. So you can get all of the generate responses work except for tool calling. Those can work. You can also do RAG, and you could do RAG there. Again, that'll also do the chat completion. But again, not on your production server, and you need a big server to do it. So that is all you can do. The other providers, the big ones, are going to do the best job, with the caveat that you're sending them your stuff. But OpenAI's models are very good. Anthropic's models are very good. Cohere's models are very good. And there's others that are very, very, very good. There are open models that are pretty close to that. You won't be able to run those on an AI server. If you wanted to run, like, say, Kimi K2, one of the latest models that is on par with, say, getting close to what Anthropic or what OpenAI provides, you just can't do it. Like, you do not have the infrastructure to do it. I'm just going to tell you right now, you don't. And so that's the trade-offs. The main providers are much better and much cheaper than using the open providers. Much better. I think somebody tried to run DeepSeek, which is one of the best open models, on hardware you could buy at the store. And what they had to do was buy 10 Mac Studios.
Oh, wow.
And linked them all together. I think they spent
what, 20, 30,000 on that?
No, more than that. I think they spent $50,000.
Oof.
So again, I know it's something that we worked with Claris on to try to get this messaging around what you can actually run on those AI servers. And there's an idea that you can run all this stuff. And unless you're going to spend thousands of dollars a month, you're not. Just not happening. You're gonna have to spend 10 grand on a Mac Studio, or thousands of dollars a month on a provider like us or AWS or something like that to be able to run those big models. That said, you can run, for $1,000 or $2,000 a month, you can probably run one of the lesser models. Maybe, and this is one I haven't checked out yet, is the Google, the Gemma 3N. Might possibly get us down to the point where it might be something that we can afford. But I haven't run it yet, so I'm not sure. But they're saying it can run on small hardware. So that would be, say, maybe a maxed out M4 Max Mini, or, a small GPU powered server from AWS, something like that.
Margaret, you got a lot of questions coming, so keep running these.
Yes. Basically, there's big confusion, Todd. What these are all boiling down to is, why don't the tools work? What specifically about the tools is not working, and how likely do you think it's going to be fixed?
I think it will be fixed. So each of the providers has a slight variation on, or actually most of them are OpenAI compatible, but Anthropic isn't, for example, and some of the other ones aren't perfectly compatible. So the data that's getting sent and the data that's coming back is slightly different, or can be under certain circumstances. Claris wants to help by making the generate response from model sort of smooth over all that. So you don't have to worry about, switching the formats that I'm using for tool calls, for example. Um, and so they're trying to paper over that or make it smooth so that you don't have to think about it. And it's not working. Like these script steps are brand new. They did rewrite them, or they did change them dramatically 2 weeks before shipping. So it's not surprising that there are some rough cases or rough edges here. And there's a few of those. It's the tool calls, the way they do user prompts, and the way they do instructions is just it just has problems with the other providers. And so it doesn't do it does not give you the consistent results that you need that you need to do tool calling, basically. So at this point, we're just saying OpenAI only until they fix that. I think they will fix it, but it's not today. It's not there today.
FMAI server, 100% data privacy, right? That's where you're rolling your own. If you have a this is what Leland's summary was really great here. If you have a FileMaker AI server, your data privacy will be between 0 and 100% depending upon what you're doing and who you're doing it with.
That's correct.
Right? Yeah. Some businesses will refuse to do any AI integrations using cloud servers and requiring only in-house prem. And what Todd is saying, if that's you,
get a Mac Studio. That's what I'm saying.
Well, go get a ton of cash, right? And bring that to the party.
I think the Mac Studio. I'm going to get one at some point here. The Ultra, there's right at around 5,000. I think you're going to be able to do pretty decent. Depending on your load, you might need a bigger one. The $10,000, which is really maxed out, basically, that should be able to do most of what you would need to do on a reasonably sized system, depending on how many requests you're making.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good box. That is a pretty good box, but it's 10 grand.
Yeah, I will say that when we looked at the people who, me and Wim looked at both the 10 grand versus the renting per month, the renting per month rapidly outstripped the 10 grand.
Yes, it does. It does. So if you need to do this, the cheapest option today, I think this will change, but the cheapest option to run heavy loads is an M3.
Okay, real quick. So there's an unauthorized Richard here, another Richard, not Richard. This is other Richard. He keeps asking the question. I'm going to throw this at you. He's wanting to know, how is OpenAI not fully compatible with AI server? He understands the tool thing, but he wants to. That's what I don't understand. He's looking for the technical reason, but that is under the hood Claris engineering stuff, right?
It's just so OpenAI doesn't run on FileMaker's AI server. OpenAI is its own thing. It's running out there. It's like choosing a different provider, right? So Anthropic, OpenAI, Cohere are the three that are drop downs in that list. Those are all not related to the AI service, except that if you're doing RAG, I believe you can use OpenAI's text embedding models for your RAG server. But that's the only way in which OpenAI is related to the Claris AI server. They're different. Now, in terms of and it's actually not even the Claris AI server is just an instance of custom, quote unquote, custom. Custom is anything other than the big three. And the way you get to Claris AI server from those script steps is to choose custom. So when we say custom, we might mean a Claris AI server. We could mean it could be our automatic inference service that we have. It's not running on your FileMaker AI server. It's in the cloud. It's another provider where we can run things like DeepSeek and Qwen and stuff like that. But those are not the Claris AI server. They're really different. Claris AI server is just another. It just fits into the custom bucket in this case.
Okay. Yeah, you still have to download the model.
No, you
Real
do wouldn't. If you're using OpenAI, you don't have to download anything. There's nothing to do. You don't even have to turn on the AI services. If you're using OpenAI, you do not even need to turn on the AI services on your FileMaker server.
right. No, what,
Unrelated.
that's what I'm saying. So can you license OpenAI and run it on your own server, or they
No,
won't allow for that?
no.
That's what we're talking about. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Digital. Speaking of terminology and companies, Digitaltron 9000 on screen says, "Who or what is Cohere? I've never heard of them before." Blah blah blah.
They're another model maker provider. There's a bunch. There's Mistral. There's a whole bunch of these. I'm not exactly sure why Claris included Cohere. It may be that Cohere's got some deal with Apple. I really don't know because I've not used Cohere, so I don't really know much about their models or what they're good at. But if you're in the EU, there's another one. Mistral is a big EU-based model maker and provider.
Okay. Other questions from people, because this has really been a great week, and this is a great live stream right here. I know we're trying to land the airplane, but I want to make sure everyone's questions are being asked. So the FileMaker AI server is just kind of there's no real model in there. You have to install a model onto.
That's right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to frame
And
that.
the models you can install are open models, basically ones that are free, that are given away. And there's a million of them, frankly. There's probably a million, no lie. But so you can, it comes with like a few that are sort of recommended for the different use cases that there are. But you can choose anything that's on Hugging Face, basically. And Hugging Face is the most common, the most popular open source list and repository of models, of open source models. So you can get them there.
Face hugger or hugging face?
Hugging
Face hugger.
Face.
Because face
Hugging
hugger's an
Face.
alien reference, right?
That's
So-
right. Yeah, no, face hugger would be alien. This is hugging. This is
Okay.
Hugging Face, which is, it's probably related somehow. I don't know.
I'm
but-
sure. Yeah, it's kind of weird. At the moment, the only AI provider with free trial that you can use with FileMaker 22. Okay.
Which is what? Cohere is the only one you can use for free? Oh, there you go.
So it's just the rub is that you're going to have to buy some big ass hardware to drive that.
Well,
to really make
Cohere
it.
is its own provider. That's not going to run on your FileMaker server.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Cohere is like Anthropic and OpenAI. There's
Okay.
also things like there's Open Router, which basically provides a router across everything, including OpenAI and Anthropic. And they're basically in the business of just making sure that things don't go down. So they have backups and stuff like that. There's a whole layer of things between OpenAI and running your own model server. There's a whole ecosystem in between there of different levels of how private you want to be. Like, for example, with our automatic service, which still can't do tool calls, unfortunately, but we can do all these models. It is, nothing's going back to the model maker. The data, the logs are purged every 3 days, and the data is encrypted per customer, right? So maybe that's good enough for you. Maybe that's good enough. But the other thing that just always makes me laugh is when we go to a customer who's put everything in their whole business in Google Drive, and they're worried about their data being sent to Google Gemini or whatever. I'm like, guys, your data is already in Google. It's already gone. Like literally, understand that. If you are putting your everything in Google Drive and your Gmail and your Google Calendar, Google has already taken all of your data. It's already gone. They've already used it to train all of their models. And it just makes me laugh that people are still like, well, we can't use Google Gemini. I don't really know why, because you've already given them everything you own. It's already there. So,
Yeah, that's a hard lesson to learn, right? Once a time I couldn't figure out why I was getting ads for white powdered donuts with my little peeves that I have. I love little white powdered donuts, and I started getting ads for this, and I'm like, what the? And it was reading my mail I sent to a friend, said, oh, I got to get some white powdered donuts. I started getting ads for that. I'm like, those ads.
Yep. They've already done it. They've already sucked up every bit of information that they have on you, and your company has already been used to train Google Gemini and everything else. That's one of the reasons why Google was a bit behind, but they're catching up really rapidly. In fact, in some cases, they're surpassing Anthropic and OpenAI in terms of how good their models are. And their main reason is that they have immense quantities of data. They have more data than anybody else. And so they're able to use that to train. They're using your data to train.
Yeah, and the courts came out and upheld that was okay in a lot of cases. So it's like,
I mean,
shit.
the final fight isn't done yet, but I think the cat's out of the bag. Like it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just something to know. If you're using
Cool.
Google Gemini is probably not any worse than what you're already doing.
Google Drive, yeah.
Google Gemini is a pretty good model. I hope we can make it work with FileMaker soon. We can't yet for whatever reason, but we'll figure it out. And one of the nice things about Google Gemini is, I think maybe Gemini Pro, one of them has like a 10 million token limit in its context, which is basically like all the books on Richard's bookcase behind him can be loaded into that. Something crazy like that. It's a lot. So Google Gemini is a good thing, but we can't quite use it with FileMaker yet. Yeah, so I saw Grok. So again, we'll be able to do all this with custom if they fix custom. Grok will work with custom. We could probably get it to, again, tool calls are the issue. You could get it to work without tool calls. It'll work. There's ways to do that.
Yep, good stuff. Good stuff, everyone. I really appreciate it. And once again, next week, a little bit less AI, but I don't know. It sounds like Charles Delfs is going to bring some AI stuff with his FM Better forms. Once again,
yeah, I'm pretty sure you can vibe code up the forms with his stuff. I'm pretty sure.
Wow, that'll be pretty big. Hopefully he'll spend some time on that. Cool. All right, everyone. Well, that's it for today with Todd. Todd Geist will be back. Only if you like, make sure you send him a support or send a note to Claris. If you have a rep at Claris that you like or hate, send him a note saying how much you love Todd and how much that, Todd is awesome.
Do you guys get anybody from Europe?
Oh, there's a lot of people here from Europe. Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to be at the FileMaker conference in November in Antwerp.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, come. Okay. I'll be diving into this stuff. I'm giving a talk there. I don't know when, at some point, but I've got to make my travel arrangements, flying all nonstop from LA to Amsterdam. Yeah, lovely flight.
Yeah, bring something to do. Bring something to do. Yeah. All right, everyone. That's it for today. We'll catch you next week. Monday, it's a long weekend. Well, short, normal weekend, not a 3-day weekend, but we need a break. It's been a lot of AI, but it's been awesome. Appreciate it, everyone. That's it. See ya.
Bye. Thank you.